and welcome back to another Sims 4 YouTube video. Today we're going to be checking out the newly updated Module 1 to the Relationship, Pregnancy, and Overhaul mod by Lumpino. I do want to point out that this is still in early access, so I'm not sure exactly when it will come out, but I would say probably in the next like 3 to 4 weeks. However, I'm not the mod creator, I'm not Lumpino, so I'm not sure the time frame they have on when they will release the mod. I'm sure once all the bugs and testing are over, because it's still in testing, but I did want to cover it because it actually blew me away. But basically, this module deals with the preferences for your Sims, whether it's pregnancy and family wise. So it got a whole new update to where your Sims can specify how many children they want, to baby names, to, maybe reasons as to why they don't want children. So we'll be looking at all of those today in this mod review. The first place I want to go is to settings for the RPO mod, because there were some things that were added, and all you need to do is go and click on the tab in the UI interaction panel and then go to RPO global settings, and it should take you to the global settings. And we're going to go down to where it says the pregnancy, the preg, prefs, and reactions, because there are some new changes to the setting portion of it. So this is the same. This was there before, that you can have all your Sims be happy to have a baby by default. Personally, I don't turn this one on because I live for Sims drama, but the second one also was here before, about your Sims can express their gender preference for their offspring, so you can have that on or off. There is a new window that we'll get into more, but essentially this interaction will let you have your Sims change preferences due to life events, that they can have a little pop-up window that I'll show you later on in this video, about your Sims being able to change like their preferences throughout their life, which I find very cool. So I definitely had to turn that one on. And then you can go under this setting, which is frequency / likelihood of prompts about evolving family preferences. You can have it set to a default or have it elevated. I'll leave it to a default just because personally I probably wouldn't want to have too many pop-ups. You might want to have more pop-ups, so you can click whichever one you want. But once those are all set up, you should be good to go to play with the mods. So let's get into the fun part of this, which is actually playing with the new module. So I'm first going to start off with Lily Ann, which is this Sim right here. And I'll pause this game just so that nothing interesting happens while I'm trying to explain this. But basically, if you click on your Sim, you'll have this the RPO interaction already available for your Sims. What we want to do is go under the pregnancy and family tab for this, and you will see that there are the same interactions before, but there is another window which is specify approach to not wanting children. So I can assume that Lillian probably doesn't want to have kids, because if we look, your Sims already come with a preset of their preferences, and because she does not want to have a child, this is actually good to start off with. She can go and specify the approach she wants to take about not wanting children. So she can hit just doesn't want children right now, because you're able to also set your preferences to be kind of neutral, to where your Sims will gradually be able to choose again what they want to do with their life. She can click has already had enough children if she's already had children. In this case, Lily doesn't have kids, so that might not be an approach we want to take. And then this is another one with will never ever want children. And then you can also click random. So if you're not sure what you want to do and want to let the Sims kind of, make up a storyline for you, you can do that. I think for this, we'll just click random and see what it comes up with. And of course, it goes for the one that I said we weren't going to do, because Lillian has had no children. But if I want to go back into her tab and say, you know what, I want my Sim to have children, we can go on to thoughts on having children, because there are two different preferences, the children one, and then you can also have a thoughts on pregnancy. So maybe your Sims are fine with being pregnant but not wanting to have children, because you do make money from being a surrogate in here. That's all I'm going to say. You can start a business with that if you want to. I'll leave it up to you. But we can also randomize Lillian's wishes as well. I do want to see what it says about the randomizing. Like, what does she get? Is it the same or is it different? It's still the same. Never mind. We're just going to click would be happy to have a child, because if you click would be, or I'm pretty sure neutral about having children, there will be another section that pops up for you that didn't pop up when your Sims don't want to have children, because obviously if they don't want to have children, they're not going to want to choose how many children. So as you can see right here, if we click on this panel, it'll bring up a new window that we haven't had before for your Sims and how many children they want to have. So right now it's set to 0 because we haven't set anything. You can do a custom one and you can also do random, but I don't think you'll have to do a custom one because Lumpino added a lot of options on this tab. It goes through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to 10 to 100. 100 children. If you're doing the 100 baby challenge, you can have your Sims have a preference of 100 children, but I think we should do random, and I swear if it gives me 100, we might have to, okay, never mind. It gave us 2 children, so now Lillian has decided that she wants 2 children, and after she has 2 children, she probably will have her preferences switch to not wanting any children, which we might have to test that out. But now that that is set and done, that's pretty much all the options you can do. So the next thing that was added to is with the offspring gender, your Sims kind of got a new update for this as well. This was here before for the module updated, but this one got an update in the sense of new buffs for it. So if I were to say for Lily Ann that she would like to have a son when she's pregnant, when Lily Ann does eventually get pregnant, her and her partner, if her partner has preferences, will be able to have new buffs according to that, to where they will be like 50-50 chance of getting what they want or don't want, which I don't like the wording for that, but the point is like they'll have a buff about hoping for a certain gender, you know. Or you can click on the would like either or both, which I'll do for Lily Ann. And we can also do the same thing for Grayson over here. He's not left out. If I go to Grayson and I go to the same panel that I did with Lily Ann, I can go back into pregnancy and family, and then I can do the thoughts on offspring, thoughts on having children, and choose how many children Grayson would like. So Grayson actually does want kids or is either neutral to it. So we'll click on this for him and I'll click random. It will take a minute to see his initial choice of how many children he wants, but until we wait for that, we can go back and do thoughts on offspring. And I'll just say that Grayson would like to have a daughter, and so we can see that buff when I make Lily Ann pregnant. Okay, so Grayson has decided he wants 3 children. So that's one more than Lily Ann wants, and they can also discuss about it too. So since we're over here, I'll have Grayson actually click on Lily Ann, and then we can go back into this panel under pregnancy and family, and then we can ask Lily Ann if she wants children. And once he asks that, we should get another pop-up window right here saying, I'd like to have 2 children. In fact, I hope to have 2 more of them, because remember, Lillian doesn't have any children right now. And then also she said, I don't really feel a preference on offspring gender, a daughter, a son, boyish child, or girlish child, neither, both. If we were to have a baby, I think this type of thing would not impact my ability to relate to them or integrate them well into the family dynamic. So it kind of gives you a little like bio of their preferences as well. So now we can have Lily Ann ask Grace about his preference, but he wants children. And so once they're done communicating, talking about it, he says, I'd like to have children. In fact, I hope to have 3 more of them. If we have a baby, I think I'd feel a preference towards having a daughter or a girly child. Just sounds like I would relate to them easier, or they'd fit better in the family dynamic. And he's also acquired the charisma skill, which I guess is good. So that kind of gives you some more storyline, in my opinion. It kind of spices up the game where you can have more preferences for your Sims, makes it more realistic to the real world. So that's pretty much it for your preferences when your Sim is not pregnant, and also for their partners for right now as well. So my next step is to get Lillian pregnant. So I'm gonna have them go woohoo real quick. We'll meet back later. Okay, well, Lillian is pregnant, so we have some more options for our Sims. I'm not doing this welcome wagon. We should know this by now, the Sims. I'm busy experimenting. Okay, well, the next thing that we can do is I'm gonna go ahead and again re-click on Lillian, and then once we go back to the pregnancy and family, we should see some more options. This has been here before, but there are a couple new things, which is decide on a preferred baby name per birth gender. So your Sims are actually able to now be able to have preferred names set for their baby or babies, depending on how many they're having. So Lumpino added in so many options for names, so your Sims are able to randomize them, or you can go through them and click on which one you want. I mean, there are a bunch. I was shocked at how many they added into this mod, because I could not imagine sitting there entering all those names. But you can enter custom ones in as well, and you can also random select. So we're gonna hit random selection, and it pops up for a boy, Roman. So my Sim has picked that, and then you can either keep the current selection or you can randomize the selection. For this, I think we'll just keep it, and then it brings us to for a girl. Again, you can enter the name or you can randomize it, and this comes up with Blair, so I'll keep that as well. And then after that, her names have been set. But at any time, if you go, I don't like the ones that I've picked, you can go back into it and click it again, and it'll pull up so you can change it. And you can also put some clothes on, Grayson, please. I am filming a YouTube video. Okay. You can also do the same thing for Grayson as well, which I think is super, super neat that you can do this with your partner Sims as well. The important part before you try and have your Sim partner create names is actually to tell them that you are expecting a child. So make sure to tell your Sim's partner that they are pregnant, or else your Sim partner will not be able to get the other options that you're able to do. Probably an important step that you should do is tell your partner. So Grayson is also pretty happy, and so now we can click back on Grayson, and we should get the options. Yes, here we go. So you can decide on a preferred baby name as well for your Sim partners, which I think is really neat. So they can either agree to disagree, and we'll see that because I'm gonna go ahead and click random selection. He got Ignacio. We'll keep that. I think that's a cool name for a kid. Then this is for a girl. We'll randomize that, and Giovanna. So we'll keep that as well. So now what we can do is, if I go back to Lillian, I can click on Grayson, and then I can go back to the pregnancy and family portion and ask for preferred baby names for my Sim. But they also get a little buff too, saying preferred baby names. So they can talk about their names, and it'll actually have a pop-up with, I don't really have a preference, but I can make some suggestions. What about Art for a boy and Hillary for a girl? So you can get some ideas there. And then if I go back to Grayson and click on Lillian, he is also able to ask for preferred baby names. And she says, I don't really have a preference, but I can make some suggestions. What about Nestor for a boy and Robin for a girl? So there's different things that will pop up. Although they did get their preferred names, but I do want to mention, I think I forgot to preface this. This is an early access too, so it's still going through testing. So there might be some bugs and things that are going wrong with it. For the most part, since I've been playing with it, it works great within your game. Okay, I'm gonna try this again and have her ask him the preferences for the name. Hopefully it gives the right one, but sometimes your Sims might just not really care and just have their preferred list for it. So, okay, he says I don't really have a preference, but I can make some suggestions for it. But so that you can see the other interactions, here is like the baby name preferences. This is on their website for the details on it, and here you can see the picture for if you wanted to make the custom names. But they can choose, like, if your Sim chose Abigail, they can say, so Abigail is your idea, nice, what about Bobby? So there's different things that will pop up for your, you know, Sims. And yeah, so during pregnancy, each parent can choose names for the babies and discuss them. The choice can be done via a list of names or / via custom writing, which we've already discussed. And if your Sims have twins or triplets, they can also pick extra names, which we could probably test out right now. So now that my Sim is expecting twins, is what MC Command Center decided on, I can go back into pregnancy, and I'm actually, you know what I'm gonna do is actually have her go discover the birth gender, because then she'll know that she's having twins, and then maybe that will pop up. Because let's be real, your Sims just don't know how many babies you're having. In real life, you don't know how many babies you're having till you go get an ultrasound. Yeah, so it even says here the genders too, so it's a boy and a girl. But if I click back on Lillian, if she stops walking, I can go back and then we can get a backup preferred baby names. You gotta be prepared. So here is again the same list. So I'm gonna do random selection, Timothy, and then keep that selection and then hit random selection, and Jolene, like that Dolly Parton song, keep that current selection. And now we've got our name opinions on the preferred baby names. So I'm actually gonna have Grayson ask Lily Ann because it's her preferred names. And then we can ask her again. Yeah, again, she doesn't have a preference. It's like, doesn't want to work with me today. It's fine. You get the point of what I'm trying to make. But the other thing about your Sims being able to expect multiples is that there's a new buff for Sims who find out they have multiples. They can have dazed or scared buffs for this. So my Sim right now has a dazed one for multiple offsprings. So right now it says Grayson wants children, yes, but this is certainly more of them than was expected. It will take a minute to adjust to this new information. And then for my Sim, she's got the dazed one as well. If your Sims probably don't want children or on the fence, or maybe they only want one kid, they might be scared. That leads me into my next part of the module, which kind of comes to the end of this mod review, is your Sims are now able to ask if Sims are pregnant, which has been on here before, but you can do it with NPCs now. So if Grayson were to click on my Sim on Lillian and ask about pregnancy, this has been here before this update, but my point is now you can ask NPCs that so they can actually announce their pregnancy. But also if your Sims are pregnant with multiples, they can announce that they're pregnant with multiples. So right now it says that, nice of you to ask, I'm in my first trimester, I'm happy that I'm going to have a child. That response may be different depending on your preferences in game. So it definitely does spice things up. If I go to Jesminder with my Sim, because she's always pregnant when you start a new save, I can show you what I'm talking about. So Jesminder is right here, which is perfect. So I'll just have my Sims introduce each other. And now that they're talking, she can share her big news with Jesminder. It's important that you share the news just so your Sim is pregnant. And then if I go back, I can ask her about her pregnancy because she's also pregnant, because she's always pregnant in a new save file. So it should pop up with a little window about like her pregnancy. So I wasn't really wishing for a child right now. Pregnancy has its good days and bad days, but overall it's a beautiful experience. Oh, where are you going? Lillian, get back up here. Because if I go to more choices and I click on relationship, my Sim can announce she's expecting multiple offspring. I'll just click that. Hopefully she comes back up. So now she's announcing that she's obviously pregnant with more than one children. It says multiple trouble, more like. That's right, Jesminder. Multiple trouble. So that pretty much concludes the new update. So definitely one of my new favorite modules. I never fail to be shocked whenever Lumpino comes out with an update for this mod, and shocked in a good way because they outdo themselves every time with these updates by making the game more realistic. Honestly, this is one of the mods I cannot play without. If it's not in my game, I don't even want to touch Sims. So definitely let me know down in the comments, would you add this into your game? What are some of your favorite features of this mod? And with that, thank you all so much for watching today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Again, let me know down in the comments what you think of this new module update to RPO, because again, they never fail to surprise me, Lumpino. She outdoes herself every time. With that being said, I will see you all on Wednesday for our Black Widow challenge.